Hey dude, what's going on? Bill here, and today we're actually going to talk about part 3 of our intermittent fasting program, and specifically macronutrients. Now, traditionally macronutrients you don't even really touch for intermittent fasting, but here's the deal, is that over 90% of Americans screw this up. So, if you're watching this, I'm going to bet that you're doing it wrong, alright? But it's actually pretty easy to fix, and it's really no big deal. Now, what is a macronutrient, or macros as they're called in the industry? Well, a macronutrient is a protein, a carb, or a fat. Okay, it's basically the three building blocks for all food that we consume. Now, I mean, there's lots of reasons why we consume the wrong amounts, and honestly, it really varies person to person. There is no kind of one size fits all for this. For me, for example, I was actually just looking up some of my old ones. If I'm trying to trim down, lose a little bit of weight, my macronutrient ratio is 40% protein, 30% carbs, and 30% fat. Now, that is an insane amount of protein for the average person. The average person should not consume that. All right. But for me, because I'm so active and I work out 2, 3 times per week, I'm working with clients, every single day. I'm walking my dog 30 to 90 minutes per day. I move a lot. All right. And if I don't get that protein ratio in there for 40%, I can literally feel my body getting weaker and weaker and weaker. Ask me how I know. Well, I'll tell you a quick story. I was working up in Lake George, this YMCA conference center, and we had a conference come in that was all vegetarians. And so for 2 weeks, I ate nothing but what a vegetarian would eat. And let me tell you, because I was actually working at a gym at the time, so I was working out every day. I was teaching group classes and stuff like that. I could literally feel my muscles in my body just getting weaker and weaker and weaker. So I went out to a place that I never go shopping. I went out to a Walmart to buy a steak, and it was gross, but it tasted amazing because my body was craving that protein, and I had to eat it because I can literally feel myself just getting weaker as I went. So really, when you go to your MyFitnessPal app, play around with it. All right, I can pretty much guarantee for the average person you're consuming way too many carbohydrates. If you're over 50%, you have to be like a marathon runner or endurance athlete. Um, if you're consuming over 50% of carbohydrates. So just play with it. Because I mean, also the other end of the extreme, let's say if you're of Inuit descent from Alaska, you're probably consuming 80 to 90% fat. But their bodies, for whatever reason genetically, they can handle that kind of fat intake, whereas I could not even come close to that. All right. So guys, that's it for today. Watch out for part 4, and we'll talk soon.